All right, everybody, welcome back to the Horseman Football Talk Podcast. This is Brad.
Hefe.
All right, today we're going to talk about the Chiefs at the Colts. Hefe, are you emotionally ready to talk logically about this game? That's the only thing. I mean, we've talked football for a long time, and I remember having to emotionally let you down about 10 or 15 years ago when the whole Manning train, when the whole thing was going to collapse, and Sunday was rough for Colts fans. And I'm a Colts fan. I'm a Dolphins fan, but because I live here. But I'm a Colts fan because I've been a Colts fan since the day they moved to Indianapolis in 1984. It was rough to watch, man. And I'm really, really concerned about Sunday.
So I've obviously thought a lot about this. Yesterday was crazy, right? But the thing that helped it for me is understanding the situation. If you look at Frank Reich's track record as a coach, slow start after slow start after slow start to the season. Even with the Texans and the Jags, it's the first two games on the schedule. I didn't expect to come in and be world beaters because guess what? We had another new quarterback. And this one hadn't played with Frank Reich. It's not like Matt Ryan could come in and run the whole offense. They didn't run any part of the offense in the preseason, which I think is a mistake. Now it's they're trying to get into their offense right now because they didn't want to show anything, and it's costing them. But whatever the case, look, Sunday is the old bury the ball game, right? You bury the ball, you move on, you don't even talk about it, you don't watch the film. Frank Reich in the post-game press conference mentioned multiple times that it was pathetic. Yes, it was pathetic. It was embarrassing. Look, they didn't have Michael Pittman. They didn't have Alec Pierce. They still don't have Shaq Leonard back in the lineup. DeForest Buckner only played a couple of snaps, and he ended up not playing after the game started to get out of hand. So they were down some of their best players. I understand. I didn't expect them to go into Jacksonville and win that game because we don't go into Jacksonville and win. Even in the Peyton Manning era, Maurice Jones-Drew would run for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns, and the Colts would lose in Jacksonville. So it's like the season starts now. At this point, you have the first couple games out of the way. You've looked like shit. People, for all they want to say about week one, the Colts had more yards than anybody else in the league on offense in week one. Yeah. And then, week two, whatever that was in Jacksonville, we never know what happens. It just happens. So week three, you have the Chiefs coming in. And look, the Colts, both curses have reigned true. They did not win week one. They did not win in Jacksonville. But the curse here works in favor for the Colts, and it's that the Chiefs can never beat the Colts, no matter the situation. Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback. If they're up by 30 in a playoff game, it just doesn't matter for the Chiefs. So the signs would point, and the optimist in me would point to picking the Colts here, but I'm just not going to do it. I expect the Colts to be able to start 1-5 this season. The Chiefs aren't going to be the team they beat. I expect the Chiefs to put a ass whooping down on the Colts this week.
I didn't expect that part. So I agree with you. First of all, the Texans, on paper, the Colts won the game. They just didn't get it done when they needed to get done. There were mistakes. I saw a lot of people complaining about, blaming Frank Reich was blaming Hot Rod instead of taking responsibility. No, Hot Rod has had some problems the last couple of years. He certainly was part of the reason they lost the first week. It wasn't the whole thing. There were a couple errors, big, huge errors. Even Frank Reich, made a couple play calls that he shouldn't have. But it is game one, right? Things didn't go the direction. I think I read that the Jags have 8 shutouts in franchise history, and 3 of them are against the Colts.
Yeah, and the Colts have been shut out 3 times since 2003. All of them have been the Jags.
Yeah, so I don't know what that is. And it appears, I'm not a big Doug Peterson fan, but it appears Peterson is getting that figured out. They said during the game on Sunday that Peterson said the sole job he came down there was for the quarter. The whole reason he took the job was for the quarterback in itself. And we certainly saw why that is. The kid can play, and he's going to be a mainstay in this league. I mean, we've seen good play out of him, but he looked like he knew what he was doing the other day. So the Jags are better, or at least heading in the right direction to get better. With all that said, you made some good points about Matt Ryan running the offense, new guy coming in. We got a couple key injuries, but nobody gives a shit in the win and loss column. that nobody ever, no, after this season, no one will ever talk about that again. So the bottom line is you have to get it done. I still believe in Frank Reich. I think people are too easy to, I even saw people talking about firing Ballard. If you don't understand how good of a team, that's what's disappointing to me, is I know how good this team is. And even the coaching staff and the general manager, I'm hoping to click. You made a good point about Kansas City struggling to beat Indianapolis. That is absolutely true. It's been true for a very, very long time. The Colts are at home. That's a big deal. But Kansas City is a contender right now, and Indianapolis has yet to show me that, even though I believe it with all my heart with the talent they have. I don't think taking them game 3 after taking an ass whipping 2 weeks in a row is a good place in the schedule for the Colts to face them. And I'm with you. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think this may not be pretty. With that said, I don't think it'll be more than a 24-point game like it was Sunday. And if the Chiefs beat us by 17, I can handle that more than I can handle 24-0 from the Jags. But I can't pick the Colts in this one, and unfortunately.
Yeah, and if like a little more deep dive into this matchup, one of the main reasons why I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game is because if you watch the Colts-Jags game and you watch Trevor Lawrence and operate that offense, I mean, we had talked about before how Gus Bradley has changed his defense to not be so cover 3 heavy all the time, and be more modern with the offenses. And Trevor Lawrence picked that defense apart. And it's just getting the ball out quick. It's not letting Kwity Paye rush you off the edge or Unique Ngakoue rush you off the edge. It's getting the ball out quick, and they were finding space in the defense. Obviously, Gus Bradley's going to see that in the film. They're going to try to adjust it. But this new Chiefs offense and what Andy Reid loves to do traditionally, I mean, they're going to pick that apart all day with the slants and the crossing routes and the dig routes. Like they're going to pick the defense apart from what we saw this past Sunday. I don't see the Colts defense being able to get off the field. I could see it being like a 40 to 20 minute time of possession advantage for the Chiefs. But, hopefully we see the Colts make some adjustments. Hopefully Shaq Leonard, I don't know if he's going to be back for this one. That would make me feel a lot better about the defense. But with especially him not being there, I really have no hope for the Colts defense.
So you brought up a good point that I meant to look at. We were texting about it in the middle of the game. I never did see the final time of possession for the Colts game yesterday. It was 38 minutes and 15 seconds to 21 minutes and 45 seconds. It doesn't take a genius to figure out you can't win a football game like that.
Can't do it, man.
Can't do it.